When it come to my city, I know you may not get it, but I'm telling you I love my city. When it come to my city, no for this and no for that.
Hello, world. This is Kalonda Kay, and we are tuned into an amazing interview today. Exclusive. Let me say it's exclusive because it is. I am honored with this beautiful woman who has spanned the world of acting, writing, entertainment management, and the list goes on. Miss Shana Mangatal.
Great, perfect. Hey,
Okay.
Kalonda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. I want to thank you so much for joining me on today. And wow, what an amazing journey. And I wanted to dive on in. I wanted to know what drew you into the entertainment world.
Oh, wow. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be in entertainment. I wanted to live in LA. Just like as long as I've been alive, I think it's just always been my dream. I think it kind of has to be in your blood. Like I could not do anything else but move to LA and be in the entertainment industry. It was just like what I had to do. And I think you kind of have to have that the drive and the focus, mainly the focus, to achieve your dreams. A lot of people don't really know what they want to do. You know, they're in school, they go to college, they don't know what to study because they don't really know what they want to do. But the fact is, if you want to achieve big dreams, you have to know what you want. You have to figure out a plan on how to get it and go for it and believe in yourself and never give up. So that's what I did. I just, as soon as I could, I moved to LA and I pursued my dreams.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Now, I know many of your fans know you from House Party, from Ghost with Michael Jackson, Steve Urkel, which was one of my favorite. I watched his show all the time. And so to see you in that amazing clip, I was just like, wow, what is one of your most memorable experiences working with on House Party or Ghost or Steve Urkel?
Oh, wow. All of them were memorable. Of course, working with Michael Jackson is like, that was like my dream come true. He was my idol growing up. And to just be on set with him in a Michael Jackson short film, I couldn't believe it. And we had become friends at that point. That's how I was cast in the short film, because he cast me in it personally. He called me one day and for Ghost and said, you know, we're doing this short film and I'd love for you to be in it with me. And I couldn't believe it. But that's another thing. It's like a lot of times it is who you know. A lot of the opportunities that I got, including House Party, they were because of who I knew. For House Party, I had met Reggie Hudlin, the writer and director of the film, and they had already cast all of the speaking roles. So he just kind of like created some featured parts for me, thankfully. And of course, we never knew that that was going to become a classic when we were filming it. I mean, what is it, 35 years later, kids are still enjoying it. Never in my wildest dreams, I don't think any of the cast would have ever thought that we'd be sitting here today still talking about House Party. So it's been a blessing to be able to work with a lot of legends and on these great projects that still endure today, and generations that weren't even born when we filmed these things, they're still laughing and being entertained. So that really makes me feel good.
I love that. Absolutely. You were in the television when I was at home in my early teens, and probably even a little younger than that, just glued to the TV. And so your journey seemed to have been super amazing. So you went on to write a book and publish your book. And it shared a lot of interesting details regarding to you and Michael Jackson. So this is a man people were falling out over, passing out. I mean, I couldn't imagine being around him and just how amazing that was. So what inspired you to write this book?
Well, it was after he passed away. And actually, I waited 7 years until after he passed away. And I had just been getting so many requests and questions. My story had gotten out there before the book, and a lot of the story was untrue. So the only way for me to kind of set the story and the record straight was to write a book. I wasn't a writer. That was one dream I never had, to write or to be a writer or to write a book. That wasn't, I didn't think I had the talent. But I have received an offer from a publishing company. I didn't self-publish. It's actually a published book, and I'm a published author, believe it or not.
Nice. Yes, you are.
Believe it. So I received an offer, and I was like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. I wrote a few chapters. Luckily, I had saved all of my diaries, journals from when I was like 16 up until, present time. And that's what I use. I just went back, read through all my journals, and I was like, you know what? I think I have something here. People want to know these things. There's some interesting stuff that I wrote down here. So I turned my journals into a few chapters. At first, I submitted it to the publishing company, and they loved it. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? So I wrote the whole book by myself without a ghostwriter. And I'm very proud of it. I just never thought I could write an entire book. And once you get started, or once I got started, it was pretty quick. It took me maybe a month to write the whole. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In a month? Oh my God.
Because it was already written in my journal diary.
Yeah. Okay.
All the details were already there. It just needed to, be shaped and edited and put into a story book form. And then we did the audiobook as well on Amazon Audible. And I actually had to audition to read my own book. Yeah.
Really?
It was just like,
what? Oh my goodness.
I got paid to do the audio version, and because they don't want someone who can't read on Amazon Audible. So they just had to make sure that I could do it. And it's not that easy, even though it's your own words that you've written, it's not that easy to just get every word perfect. And but I'm very proud that I was able to do that as well. But yeah, so just have to really not box yourself in. If I had said, "Oh, I can't write," then we would not have a book. But I said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see what I can do. And sometimes you surprise yourself. You have talents that even you don't know you have.
Absolutely. I mean, and you did that, and what an amazing book and a person to write about. And why did you wait the 7 years, though? I know you said people were putting a story out there, you felt you maybe had to, but was it something significant that really said, I'm going to do it now?
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on ever writing a book. And it took that long just to have the emotional strength to dig back into those memories of Michael, all of the past things that happened. When he passed away, it really affected me. I wasn't able to listen to his songs or watch any of his videos, or even look at his pictures. It was all very difficult. And it took about 7 years for me to just be strong enough to revisit Michael, because I don't know, writing the book, I put myself right back into my 21-year-old shoes when I first moved to LA. And I was able to relive everything. And when you do that, you have to be strong enough to do that, because there were a lot of emotional ups and downs that I had to write about. And it's not easy. It's kind of like, it's therapeutic, and it was therapeutic for me to write the book. So that's why I waited, just so that I would have the strength to do it.
Yeah. And where can people find the book? If they have not read the book, where can they go? They need to read it.
It's on Amazon, still on Amazon, and Amazon Audible, hardcover and audio and Kindle. So go to Amazon, Michael and Me by Shana Mangatal.
Yes. So when you're preparing for a role in all the acting films that you've landed, is there anything special you do before hitting the stage, or just to fall into character? I always want to know, what is your remedy?
My main thing is nerves. So whatever I can do to be confident. The key to being a great actor, actress, comedian, anything, is confidence. You don't even need talent. If you have confidence, casting directors love you. They
Yeah.
want to know that they can place their
Nice.
faith in you, that you're going to be able to play out this part the way they want. When you're standing on set with Steve Urkel, Jaleel White, this master at comedy, and
Yes.
you have to you have to stand toe to toe with him. And
Yes, yes.
so I would say that the key to being a successful anything is confidence. Even if you don't know your line, if you act like you know your line, you'll get that part. The casting director
Yeah.
loves that. So yeah, for me, it's just putting myself, and I meditate as well. So just like
Okay.
calming yourself, centering yourself,
Yeah.
and becoming confident and believing that you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. What are some of the myths of the Hollywood entertainment industry that people kind of put out there?
Well, a lot of it is true, actually, because
Okay.
yeah, and when I was in it, it was the 90s, and I was also in the music industry at the same time, because I was working for Michael's manager. That's what the book is really about, my time working for Michael Jackson's management company. And at the same time, I was going on auditions to be an actress. So I was in the acting world and music. And back then, Me Too didn't exist. So
Okay.
you had to really just kind of stay quiet and take
Mm.
some abuse because there was,
Wow.
and I'm not talking about like physical abuse, but
Yeah.
just a lot of harassment. I mean, every set I was on, I probably was sexually harassed. Every job I was at, the
Mm.
clients would harass you, and they didn't realize they were harassing you, but it did get annoying when, every time you see one of the clients, they're like begging you to go on a date or something like that.
Mm.
Um, and so
Yeah.
those things are true. There's aren't that many myths, because a lot of the stuff that you read about, it's true.
Wow. So how did you keep going and push through all of that and say, I'm not going to quit despite all of that?
You really have to keep your morals. When you move to LA from another town, you have to stay that same person that you were in that other town. You have to keep the morals that your
Mm.
parents raised you with. A lot of people come out here and
Yeah.
they just forget everything and they go wild. So it helps to have a good
Yes.
support system back home. Hopefully, you have a mother or parents or whatever, someone back home supporting you, or even, in LA, if you have family out here, family and friends. It's so important. And it's also important not to get caught up and start to hang in the wrong crowd. Because I've seen a lot of people, they start out nice, innocent people,
Yeah.
but then they sort of fall into the wrong
Yeah.
crowd, and then they get on drugs, and then it's bad. So I just always I'm an introvert, so I think that helped me.
Mm.
I wasn't like
Okay.
out there partying with crazy
Yeah.
people. And you don't really see those things unless you're in that lifestyle. Like I went like
Mhm.
pretty much my whole career in music in Hollywood. I never saw hard drugs. I've never seen cocaine. I've never seen any of that stuff. And I was
Wow.
at the Puff
Wow.
Daddy parties. I was at those parties, but you don't see that stuff unless you're off in the other rooms, or they know that you're in that
Mm.
kind of stuff. But yeah,
Got
it's
it.
all in like who you hang with, your
Yeah.
morals at all times.
Yes. And you said you're introvert, and most actresses and entertainers, people think like you're always like this
Hmm.
person. How are you able to digress and just, when I get off stage, I go and be separated? How do you maintain friendships and relationships when you're like, I'm done, I just acted, I want to go be by myself?
It is hard to maintain friendships in this business. I don't really have a lot of industry friends. The friends that I have are just like normal people. I have some who are like
Mhm.
entertainers who are my friends, but but I didn't have those friends when I was like in my 20s or 30s. Like when you're hanging out and you're like in the scene,
Mm.
the friends that you have at that time, they're kind of like your hangout friends. They're not friends that you think they're friends that you can trust, but you realize most people you can't trust out here. I've been stabbed in the back. Uh, it's a dog eat dog world because everyone's trying to make it and they'll do whatever it takes. So I learned not to trust anybody. I've been hurt a lot by so-called friends. They get jealous if you get a job that they might want, or if you're dating someone that they wanted to date. Being associated with Michael Jackson just alone just brought a lot of hate and a lot of envy, and so it's been difficult. So it is hard to maintain friendships in this town. It can be lonely, especially someone like me who is introverted, and I was shy. I still am kind of shy, so I don't like drama, and I don't like hanging with fast people. So I didn't really I don't have a lot of friends out here, which is sad, but
I understand. And that's not sad. I think, like the right people are always around. That's what I love. I always, pray for the good people to stay in the circle, right? So you don't have to worry about the backstabbing and, but I love that. I love that about you. My other question for you is, as a woman, coming into this industry and knowing that you endured some things, would you tell the next upcoming woman, hey, this is a good route to go, or maybe find something else?
Well,
I don't know.
Really, if it's your passion and you like, this is what I have to do, this is the only thing that's going to make me happy, then do it. But you should have that kind of passion. You can't be just like, let me try it, I'll see if I like it. No, you have to really want this to go through all this craziness. You have to really want it, because a lot of people think they want it. They come here and then they're here maybe a couple years and they go right back home. That's most people, because they didn't really want it, and they didn't have the faith and belief in themselves to just keep being persistent. Any little bad thing that happened, they would just give up. The important thing to be able to do is to be flexible. If you don't get that starring role in a movie, maybe you should go work at a movie production company. You can still be in entertainment without being in front of the camera. And that's what I did. I wanted to be an actress, but I got this job working in music management, behind the scenes. And I found that I liked that more than being an actress. I found that was more of my passion than acting. That's why I haven't acted in quite a while, because I kind of fell into the music management thing, and I loved it because I'm able to travel for free, with artists, and still do all of the fun events and meet a lot of people and be able to work with just like great talents and be creative. As long as I'm creative, I'm happy. So that's what I think people need to always remember. Be flexible. Don't put yourself into a box where it's like, I have to be famous in 5 years or else. No, it's not meant for you to be famous or to be that star. Maybe it was meant for you to be behind the scenes, and you might just be happier behind the scenes.
I love that. Yes, I love that. I love that. I always say, like, for my life, I'm a little low is how I look at it here, but I've been out there. I've had my experiences as well, having a record deal to Universal and just, getting my feet wet a little bit. And I was like, yeah, my mama raised me right, So I'm gonna go back home. A lot of people thought I was crazy, but because who would turn down a major deal, right? Wow. And I'm like, yes, but I actually found a love in radio, which I never thought I would do. I found a love in doing this and just digging into you all's stories because I love context, right? And so this has been so fun for me. And I always thought, on the stage is where I belong. I'm like, put me behind the camera. What I need to do?
Exactly.
Where do I need to be? Put me,
It's much better,
so I love that. That's inspiring.
Yeah, and you can kind of create your own lane with what you're doing, and you're not working for somebody else, like having to remember lines, or you're working for a record label that takes all of your money and you end up broke. So you made a good decision.
Yes, and you're shooting a reel. Now you are in a different world. Now that is one of everyone's favorites as well. What was that experience like? working with such
Yeah, it
amazing
was so much
cast.
fun. We were all college age, so it really felt like we were in college. There were cliques of like the girls who had been there longer than everybody else, and then there were like the newbies and the popular girls. It was just like being in school. And the cast,
Nice.
most of the cast, they were all new and young, just like the house party cast, same thing.
Okay.
And so everyone was nice and happy to be on a hit show. And the cast
Yeah.
pretty much treated us, I was like a regular extra student. The cast treated us like equals. Great. I was 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun on that show. And I loved our tape nights, which was either Thursday or Friday. We would tape in front of a live studio audience and we had a DJ. It was like a
Nice.
party every week. I really looked forward to that. So it was great. I did around that same time I did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in their first season. I remember Quincy Jones was on the
Yeah.
set and Benny Medina and Will Smith, of course. And he was just so nice. I remember he let me use his dressing room because I was wearing this kind of skimpy outfit in the scene. And Alfonso Ribeiro kept
Okay.
just like, he could not like stop flirting with me. And Will
Yeah.
and the girl who played Hillary, I can't remember her name, but they were my protectors. They were like, Alfonso, stop
Nice.
it. So that's why Will offered me his dressing room because I didn't have a dressing room to kind of hide away from Alfonso. And he was cool. It wasn't anything. We were all
Yeah. So he just couldn't help himself. Say, beautiful woman.
Yes, we would hang out. Like I remember I used to go to like they used to have like bowling nights, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air cast, and like once a week we'd go
Nice.
bowling in Burbank, and it was a really great time to grow up. The early 90s, being very young and in Hollywood, and it's like all of the Black shows that were out at that time. I was you're
Yeah.
auditioning all the time because there were so many opportunities, so many sitcoms, so
Nice.
many movies at that time. And we were all pretty much the same age. So we would hang out and just have like innocent fun. It just seems like the innocence has gone away
Yeah.
now. Like we would go bowling. I
Wow.
remember I used to, on Friday nights, like the thing that I would look forward to doing was going to Tower Records to look through vinyl records. Back then, that's what we had, and
Nice.
CDs and stuff. And I would go to the newsstand and just like read magazines. That was my Friday night. It just people
Nice.
don't do
That's
that
funny.
anymore, but yeah, it was an innocent
Yeah.
time, and it was great being young in the early 90s here in LA.
Yes. How was the industry before, a lot of Blacks came along, Black women? Do you feel like that there was a drastic change when a lot more Black women were coming into the industry or entertainment on
Well, I know back
television?
in the early 90s, there were so many Black sitcoms, as I said, and movies. I think there were a lot more opportunities back then. I know I was being sent out on a lot of auditions, and it was just like one week you could go do the weigh-in show, the next week you could go do Family Matters, the next week you do Fresh Prince,
Yeah.
next week you do, I don't know, Living Single. There were just so many opportunities, and so for an actress at that time, it was a great time to have that career because you did have a lot of opportunities. It seems like now it's just not the same. There aren't many. There certainly
Yeah.
aren't really any sitcoms anymore. Maybe the Upshaws and not too many others. But back then,
Yeah.
that's all we had. So yeah, I think it's a lot harder now.
Yeah. A lot harder now. That's interesting. Yeah. Cause I'm like, we did have a ton of shows to choose from. So you're absolutely right. When I was like living single, I was
Yeah.
going down the list. Family. We had everything. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine that it would be harder now. You think that, the world is evolving and there's so much more opportunity, but you're right. I don't see many shows
No, I think
anymore.
people,
You're
I mean, the
right.
thing that we do have more of now is you're able to kind of make your own way. You can have your YouTube channel, you can,
Okay.
stream things, you can create your own projects, which is great. So that is something
Yeah.
that we have now that we didn't have then. I couldn't even imagine back then having the kind of freedom that a lot of people have now to have your own shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So that is one big change. But it's always better to be on like a network TV show where you're getting paid lots of money as opposed to pay for yourself.
Absolutely. Yes. Versus
Exactly.
spinning your own to
Right.
produce.
Yeah. Thing with writing a book, like thank God I got published. Like I wouldn't be able to publish my own book. Well, my first book. Maybe now I could because I have a more of a following, but it's hard to like publish your own stuff. You have to promote it yourself. People don't know how hard, even though my book was published, the work started after I finished writing it because you have to promote that thing and
Oh,
it's a lot of work.
yes. Yes. That is a real thing. People think like, oh, it just happens
Mm,
overnight, right? But the grind
yeah.
that you put forth, the emotions that you put forth, and all that you do, it really shines through on your television sets, through your
Thank you.
book. I mean, I definitely admire that about you. What made you move to LA? Because you're
Washington,
from where?
D.C. Yeah, I moved to LA in
Yes.
1989, and I just could not wait to get here. Like every day, I would be in high school, just like dreaming of living in LA. I'd be in geometry thinking, oh, I wish I was in LA right now. I wonder what it's like in LA right now. It would be snowing outside, and I would think, oh,
Yeah.
I bet it's sunny and beautiful in LA right now. I was just in LA. So I was kind of obsessed with moving to LA. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was moving. And my parents,
So you
yeah,
knew. Okay.
exactly. I was always kind of mature and they knew I was a good kid, my parents. So they let me, I didn't know anyone here in LA. I moved out here. I had a friend that I drove out here with. She's actually the reason I met Reggie Hudlin because her brother knew Reggie. And that's how I got House Party. But that's it. I didn't have any family or anything in LA. I just moved out here. But back then, things were a lot more affordable. I don't know how kids do it
Okay.
now. It's so expensive to live out here. Back then,
Woo.
it was pretty. I mean, I was living there or here, and I didn't really even have like a steady job, and I was able to make ends meet. Yeah, things have
Wow.
drastically changed in that sense. That's another thing people don't realize about Los Angeles. It's extremely expensive, like every gas, rent,
Yes.
houses, car, like
Yeah.
everything. So that's something you have to think about before you move
Yes.
out here. And that's why a lot of people fail because they don't realize how expensive everything is. And I never wanted to be a
Yeah.
waitress. A lot of actresses and actors, they're waiters and waitresses. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So that's why I got the job.
Yeah.
That's why I got the job in
Yeah.
music management. I always had like a good job. And then I actually also
Yeah.
worked
That's
while I was working for Michael's manager. I was working at the Comedy Store. Yeah, I was working
nice.
Guy Tori's Fat Tuesdays every Tuesday. Um, I'm actually in
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazon Prime. There's a documentary on Guy Tori's Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store, and I'm in it being
Yeah.
interviewed with a lot of the other comedians that were there, a lot of greats. So I was a hard worker. I had my day job at the management company, night job at the Comedy Store, and then I would audition during the day. Luckily, I had a job that
Nice.
allowed me to go do those things. So that's another thing. You have to find like the right day job for yourself
Yeah.
that lets
Yeah.
you, be yourself and pursue your passions.
Yes. I love that. Like it didn't just come in your hand. You, like you said, you had
No,
to audition, you worked. And so,
gotta,
yeah, that's,
it's hard work.
yeah. Yeah. What is a typical day like for you when you're not working?
Oh God. I'm blessed actually to now live like on the water. So like I stay home and I just I'm
Nice.
looking at my view now. There's like the water right in front of me. So I
Nice.
just chill out at home and just relax. I'm very into just quiet and peace. Um, so my perfect day is just being home and sitting on my balcony and meditating and just like breathing in the ocean air
Yes,
and
yes.
reading a good book or something. But yeah,
Yes.
that's like
Is there
perfect day
any,
for
yeah, is there any actor that you have not worked with that you were like, that's someone I would love to work with?
Not really. I think musically, someone that I would like to meet is Bruno Mars. Like he's my favorite. Well,
Oh.
he used to be my favorite. I don't really like his new song, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people feel that way. I'm like, what's going on,
Hey,
Bruno?
Bruno,
But
you have
okay.
talent. You don't need to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, I love that. Well, I mean, if you work with Michael Jackson, which you have, and more than work with him, I know the other thing. What did you date Michael Jackson?
Well, we had a thing going. That's actually how I got into his short films because he put me in them. But my book kind of, I had to write a whole book to explain my relationship with Michael Jackson. It's one of those, it's complicated type of things.
That's the
It's just
title.
like,
Is that the title?
it's called Michael and Me. Michael and Me, the secret, what is it? I can't remember it's Michael and Me. That's the main.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it took like a whole book just to explain what it was, because you can't just say, yeah, I dated Michael Jackson. It's more than that, and it spanned from like I started working for his manager in 1991, I think, or 92, and I knew him all the way up until 2009 when he passed away. So it spanned decades. So it was a lot to write about, a lot that I went through with him because he was going through so much in his life at that time in the 90s. It was crazy. But I'm so blessed and so grateful to have met him and known him. And
Yes.
yeah, I can't believe that I was able to make so many of my dreams come true, and they seemed impossible. You know, when you're back home in your small town, you're dreaming it, but you never think it's really, really gonna come true. Not these kind of big things, but I guess sometimes
Yeah.
fate and destiny have to kind of play a part as well, and luck.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I mean, if you can go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, it seemed like you've done well. So, I mean, is there anything you could tell your younger self regarding to, just the entertainment industry, regarding to life, following your dreams, any of
Yeah.
that?
I would tell my younger self to just be confident and don't trust anybody because I think yeah, it's like, gosh, when you're young, you're so naive and
Yeah.
you are very trusting. And you can't
Yeah.
really do that because it's everybody isn't like you are. Most people don't have those kind hearts. A lot of people are just out here for
Yeah.
themselves. So I would say just be stronger. You have to be strong and just believe in yourself at all times and never doubt
Yeah.
that what you were placed here on earth to do is what you were placed here on earth to do, and you can't let anybody else stop you. You can't listen to
Yeah.
anybody else's advice that's swaying you away from what you know in your heart is going to
Mm.
make you happy.
Yeah.
Um, so just
Yeah.
stay with the happiness. Whatever makes you happy, that's what you do. And I think that's what everybody should do in life. What makes you happy is what you
Yeah.
should keep pursuing and stay there, stay in that happiness.
Yes, I love that. What is next for you? What do you have coming up that we need to be looking out for, screaming it to the mountaintops?
Well, I'm working on a few things. I'm still working in music management. Hopefully, some artists will. I'll be working on some projects with some musical artists, and that's really all that I've been
Nice.
doing. Working in music still. I haven't done much acting. I'm still open to acting if something comes along, but the whole auditioning circuit, I don't want to do that anymore. That gets old after a while. I hate
Okay.
auditioning. But yeah, so
Yeah.
hopefully music, and I do plan on writing another book. It won't be about Michael Jackson, maybe about my life in Hollywood and something motivational to help other people achieve their dreams, because there is a specific way to do it. You just have to, stick to it. And but yeah, that's about it. And my book, Michael and Me, is still available on Amazon and Amazon Audible.
Yes, I love it. So I do not want to take up much more of your time. I mean, your spirit is beautiful. I enjoyed talking to you. I'm looking forward to all that you have to come. Now that I'm connected on your social media, I'm like, I'm watching, and I just love it. I love seeing people win. I love seeing people to just blossom and just be amazing in life. So it's inspiring. So for all the haters, this is not for you. It's for the people who all we love them too, but but I really, really, really love it. I love to see everything that you're doing, and other women who are like you, other men who are like you, and really just held it out and stuck it out in the industry, because you give others hope. You give others hope to say the possibility is there. And so I thank you. I thank you for your time. And for those who are watching on all these platforms, go buy the book. Go like, subscribe, share, get it, read it deep, and continue to stay in the know about everything that she has to come forth. And I want to thank you so
Kalonda.
much.
It's been so much fun. I love you, and good luck in everything that you're doing. I can't wait to see what's on the horizon for you as well. I'm going to keep tabs on you now that we're friends.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.